Hey, what's up, you guys? David here, and I am back again today with another video, but today we are doing something a little bit different. So, basically, for the people that have been following this channel, if you look in my About section, it says that I'm interested in talking in, pretty much any topic or hobby that I'm into. Uh, and there's, many things listed. But for all of you that have been watching so far, I really wish this fly would fuck off. Any of you that's been watching so far, all the videos that I've made on this channel so far have all been music based. And while that is probably going to be one of the most common things on this channel, I've never just wanted to discuss music only on this channel. My goal from the very beginning is to just talk about any of the hobbies and stuff that I'm interested in, such as I want to talk about video games, anime, movies, TV shows, and music, of course. Just any of that stuff that I'm really into. Those are all my hobbies that I love. But yeah, today we are going to be doing something for the first time. This video will be stepping outside of the music topic. So today I've got a movie recommendation slash discussion for you guys, and this is a series of horror films. I've already mentioned this during some of my other videos, I'm pretty sure. I'm a pretty big horror movie fan. My two favorite types of movies, I would say, are probably like comedies and horror. Those are probably my two top favorites, especially just like anything stupid and raunchy. The raunchier the better for comedy, in my opinion. But for horror, I've been a fan of horror movies for quite a few years now. Not my whole life, but I definitely grew up around horror movies, just because of my mom and her sister and like their boyfriends always watching horror movies around me and shit when I was a kid. My all-time favorite series is the Evil Dead series. Evil Dead 1 and 2, Army of Darkness, and of course now the TV series. But yeah, like from one of my earliest memories, at least for like watching films anyway as a kid, I'm pretty sure one of the first things I ever saw was Evil Dead 2. I saw that at a very early age, and it was something that scared the shit out of me when I was little, but over time, it's something that I became fascinated with, and I couldn't get away from it. Something just had me coming back to it again and again, and now years later, I'm a diehard fucking Evil Dead fan. So, funny how that works out. But today, I'm going to be talking about a series of Spanish horror films from the 1970s, the Blind Dead series. Now, this is a movie series that caught my attention when I was actually just scrolling through my Facebook feed, and one of the many Evil Dead fan pages that I have liked posted, I think it was maybe a trailer for the first film. It was either a trailer or just like some video clips from the movies. It was either like from just the first one, or maybe it was from multiple of the movies. I can't remember which, but I just saw this on my Facebook feed. I watched these clips of these movies, and I just thought what I was seeing was so fucking cool. I've always had this kind of like fascination with like skeletons ever since I was little. I think skeletons are probably like some of the coolest monsters ever, and still love them to this day. So, yeah, basically what I saw is you had like these undead skeleton knights that were just fucking going around terrorizing all these people and shit. I was like, wow, this looks fucking awesome. This is something I definitely got to check out. So I decided to do some research on it, and I come to find out that it was called The Blind. It was part of a series of movies called the Blind Dead series, is what it's known as. So my journey began with watching the first movie, and I happen to have the entire series here, as you can see. This is the Blind Dead collection. I found all of them on Amazon on DVD for a pretty decent price, actually. And I love the coffin box that it comes in. That's really, really fucking cool. But let's get started with the first movie here. This is the first movie, Tombs of the Blind Dead, 1972. Directed by... however you say this fucking dude's name, Armando de Osorio. Something like that. That is the director of these movies. And basically what these movies are about is you have these undead, or not, god damn it. It's about these Templar Knights from this village called Berzano. And yes, I am kind of cheating and looking at my computer here. I took some notes and stuff because I can't fucking remember all this shit. But yeah, so what's it? Yeah, the history is you had these Templar Knights from back in the 14th century that was in this town called Berzano, which is like, it's on the border between Spain and Portugal. Like I mentioned, these are Spanish films. So yeah. So basically, you had these Templar Knights that were just like really fucking cruel and just really evil people. They would kidnap females from this village and offer them or put them in satanic rituals as sacrifices because they thought it was a way to achieve immortality. So they would fucking take these women and just torture them and drink their blood at the end of the ritual. And basically what happens is these villagers, finally decide to stand up to them, got them all together, put them on nooses, and they had their eyes pecked out by crows. So the villagers got them all together and killed them for their horrible crimes that they committed against all these women. And basically, every 7 years, they rise from the dead to get their vengeance on the villagers. And basically, in the first movie, you have just these ordinary people that just decide to, they're taking a train somewhere, and one of the girls gets, jumps off the train for whatever fucking reason, because she has an argument with one of these friends of hers or something, and she spends the night in the village where the ruins are, where the tombs are of these knights. And, sure as shit, she spends the night and she gets attacked by them. So, I guess I'm kind of starting to review the whole movie. I'm not really trying to do that, but basically this is just a series of movies that is has a just very classic horror movie atmosphere, but also a lot of really fucking dark and disturbing moments as well. It's got a really like old grainy look that makes it look more authentic and creepy. And you got like the fog coming in through like the cemetery and everything. It's just really fucking good, creepy, spooky scenery. Fucking perfect for these types of movies back then. And like I mentioned, these are Spanish films, and for those of you, I don't know if you know, some of you who are horror movie fans might know, horror movies outside of the US, especially back then, like in the 70s and shit, in terms of like the intensity of like just violence and sexuality and everything, were always way ahead of anything that we were doing over here in the States. Foreign films have always been way ahead of us for the most part when it comes to that kind of shit. They've always done more fucking violent and disturbing kind of shit with their horror films compared to us. But yeah, so like I said, I'm not really trying to review each of these movies. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about each of them, but yeah, it's just really fucking cool looking creatures. They really make these undead knights to be just really fucking evil and sinister. there's some really, like I said, there's a lot of really cruel, disturbing moments. These movies are not very kind to women at all. There's a for whatever reason, the director really seems to like to have some rape scenes in each of these movies. Well, maybe not each of them, but it's in most of them. There are some rape scenes that do occur with some of these women, and not by the monsters necessarily, just from these fucking horrible, some of these horrible ass characters that are in this movie. But there's a part in the first one at the end where the knights, where the last two remaining survivors. Oh no, my bad. The last survivor, she's trying to board the train, and there are two people on the train are like arguing back and forth to not stop for her. She gets them to stop, but the knights catch up, and they actually end up boarding the train, and they just end up fucking slaughtering all these people. And one of the fucking most evil, disturbing moments is they come up to like this mother who's like holding her child, and they're both just, terrified. And you see this shot of the knights closing in on her, and you fucking hear her get stabbed, and it cuts to a shot of the child's face just getting fucking covered in her mother's blood, and it's just like, holy shit. It's like these guys really did not hold, this director really did not hold back a whole lot on these films. This is pretty intense shit for the 70s, but like I said, foreign horror films were always way ahead of what we were doing over here in the States. But, yeah, I fucking love these movies, man. Just really cool looking monsters and everything. Just highly recommended for any old school horror fan. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about these movies. I feel like these are very underground films. You really have to be deep into the genre and really find these gems of movies presented here. But yeah, this is the first one, Tombs of the Blind Dead. The second in the series is actually called Return of the Evil Dead. I believe there was an alternate title for this one. This one came out in 1973. It's a lot of it's basically the same thing, except towards the end, it's kind of more like a zombie kind of situation. Like take the Romero films, like Night of the Living Dead, where they end up fucking barricading themselves in this house and having to end up, fighting off the knights and everything. And of course, there's a lot of fucked up people within this group of people that tries to fuck them over for their own benefit. They even try to fucking there's a child that gets caught up with them after the whole village is like terrorized and everything, and they barricade themselves in this house. And one of these fucking assholes even tries to get this poor little girl killed. Pretty fucked up shit. But, yeah, that's basically the rundown with the second one. Although they change the background of the story a little bit, because when the villagers are having the knights killed, instead of having their eyes pecked out by the crows, oh yeah, I forgot to mention one very important thing. God damn it. Like I said, it's called the Blind Dead series. So these creatures, they hunt their victims through sound. They're blind. They can't see at all. So they have to hunt their victims through sound, which is a pretty cool idea, I think, and kind of just makes these creatures out to be even more foreboding and sinister and creepy. But okay, so I got that out of the way. I kind of wish I hadn't forgot to talk about that for so long, but that's all right. Like I said, the end of this one is basically just gives off like a Night of the Living Dead kind of feel, where, it's kind of like they're barricading themselves in the house to keep out the zombies or, whatever. But yeah, that's basically how the second one goes. This is the third movie in the series, the Ghost Galleon, or Galleon. Can't remember how you pronounce that. This one is released in 1975, and this one takes this one goes in a kind of different direction. And the other thing is, I think the third and fourth movies, they don't really connect the story too well. I kind of feel like they're kind of, you kind of have to see them as their own standalone kind of films. It's got the same creatures in it and everything, but the stories don't really they don't really continue after each other in terms of like just the exact same story and characters and whatnot. But this might be my favorite looking of all these films because this one is set on like this ghost ship, and you just have this really rundown, really cool looking ship where I think these other people in like these swimsuit models or something are trapped on this ghost ship with the knights, and yeah, just the soundtrack that they use, and just like when you hear like just the wind blowing and just like the fog creeping up around the people and everything, and of course just like the scene in the first movie where you see the knights slowly emerging from their tombs is just always really fucking cool looking to see, and yeah, man, just really. Once again, like the rest of the series, really just dark, disturbing, spooky scenery and imagery and everything. Yeah, just because of like just the overall setting, like I said, just the ghost ship and like the darkness with the fog and everything, and just yeah, this is probably my favorite looking of all the movies, the Ghost Galleon. So that is the third movie in the series. This is the final movie in the series. Night of the Seagulls is released in 1976. Basically the same kind of deal. You opens up with a scene of the knights once again kidnapping a poor young lady, and she gets fucking caught in being part of their satanic ritual. The other cool thing about these creatures is like while they look like skeletons and everything, but they're kind of not, because they're not really like all bones. And the other really cool thing is like when they like I said, they drink the blood of their victims whenever they're done with them, is like they so they're kind of like mummified, like because they feed like vampires, which is really cool. That's kind of different for these types of creatures. But it's what they used to do when they were humans, so it makes sense. But it's basically just the same kind of stuff going on with the fourth and final movie in the series. This is probably my least favorite out of all the movies. If I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be a toss-up between the third one, The Ghost Galleon, and the first one, Tombs of the Blind Dead, if I had to pick a favorite out of the series. But anything else to add? No, I think that's really it. So yeah, that is the Blind Dead series from the 1970s. I highly recommend this to any fan of just old school horror, and anyone who would enjoy these who's looking for these types of monsters in horror movies. Definitely check it out. Like I said, there's a lot of dark, disturbing moments, so if some of that sounds a little too intense for you, like the rape scenes and shit, you might want to pass on that, or like when it's putting kids in danger, although you never really see the kids get killed or anything. But yeah, like I said, this might be some of these moments might be a little too intense, but I mean, come on, it's horror movies. What do you expect? This stuff's supposed to make you fucking feel uneasy and just I can't think of the word. It's supposed to put you in that kind of mood. It's supposed to be scary, but yeah, love this series of movies. So thankful that I was able to find out about it. I had to torrent the first two movies, unfortunately, and when I was looking for the next two to watch, I just, out of curiosity, I decided to look them up on Amazon. But like, let's just see how much the DVDs are, and I just found this really fucking killer set. Also comes with a bonus DVD about like the making of the movies and everything, which I actually still haven't watched this. I need to, because I bet that's really cool. Comes with a booklet. That's some really cool looking, like, yeah, that's the poster for the first movie. Really fucking cool. And just, information about the movies, about the director, actors, shit like that. Yeah. Some scenes from the movie. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing such a great job with turning these pages and shit, aren't I? Let's see, I'm trying to see if there's like some more cool... yeah, there's like a really good close-up of the creature's face and stuff. But, yeah, very, very fucking cool series of horror movies. So if this sounds like something that might be up your alley, I definitely highly, highly recommend you check these movies out. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, any of that good shit. Very much appreciated. You guys have a good one. Take it easy.